Then we will move for the last topic, that is electromagnetic induction and Maxwell's equations. Right. So, when you tell the word induction, what do you mean by this induction? What is the condition to be told that something is induced? The meaning of induction. Induction means there must be a source, by that source other thing will be affected or induced, then only you can tell that there is induction. Right. Things may be living, non-living does not matter, but there must be a source and surrounding. If the surrounding is acting as per the source, then you can tell the phenomena is because of induction. Right. So, then now what is an electromagnetic induction? Obviously, you know it now that electric current causes magnetic field, right. So, electric field and magnetic field if together going and there is induction in between, then that phenomena is called as electromagnetic induction. Both the fields are there simultaneously, and the Lorentz force equation must be applied for both the kind of fields simultaneously, E and B, right. So, then now the first question is, what do you mean by this EMF, electromotive force, right. So, what do you mean by that electromotive force? Why it is called motive force? You know about force, but what is motive force? Then electromotive force. What do you mean by motive force? If that force can motivate, right, if that force can motivate to change the state of any system, then it is motive force, right. If the force can change the state of a system, then that force is called as the motive force. But again, electromotive means that force must be associated with the electric effect, that is electromotive force, right. So, then now if you think about the force in general in case of electric field or electric phenomena, then how many, whether it is only from the source may be anything, does not matter, but all the time you will get some electric field, because it is electric phenomena, there must be some force with respect to the electric field applied, right. So, it has two components, how much force is acting on unit charge, that is explained as the E, and the other force is the because of the source. So, the net force acting on the system, which is electric in behavior, is experiencing these two kinds of forces, one is due to source, other is the field, right. So, now the if you tell, then now you can tell what is this source, then Fs can be how many types or one type only, this is the source. What do you mean by the source? Source means that motive force must be behind a source. Whenever you are telling a force, there must be some cause, right. Without cause there is no force. If you tell that here is a body, then I am pushing it, then pushing is the force, pulling it is a force, right. So, they are in different forms. So, therefore, when you are telling the force, then what kind of force you are expecting for source force, which is called as force due to the source. What it may be, means you have to physically experience how that force is coming into picture. Electric force is also of various sources, it is originated with various different kinds of sources, right. One such is your electromotive force. Similarly, piezoelectric effect, because of pressure a force is created that is responsible for the electric current, that is piezoelectric effect. Like similarly, the other force agents are also there, that is like thermocouple. What happens in thermocouple? That is also a force, electromotive force. When there is a temperature difference in junctions, then that creates an electromotive force, right. So, these are the different sources, many are there, but these are few examples that you know already. So, these are the sources of the force. Then if this is the force due to the source, and if it is a source of electric current, then that current must be associated with an field E. Without it there is no current, that you know also, right. If you take any conductor, there is no current unless there is a field. So, therefore, the net force acting on the this term here is explained by two terms, one is due to the source, another is due to the field created, right. So, then now if you go for the that force what we are defining as EMF, that is symbolized as E, then how will you get that force now? Obviously, it is integration over that, let us say you are having a loop, closed path, closed circuit, right, then it should be over that path closed. Then this will be called how much? It will be, you know it, dot dl. If small length, this is your dl, it goes in this direction, right. If you integrate, then that force is called as your EMF, electromotive force, which is given by this relation. You know about this force, this is sum of source and field, right. So, then now if you write this F, then it will be ultimately nothing but equal to F s plus E dot dl, then again equal to F s dot dl, these are all vectors, then plus E dot dl, right. But you know this factor is 0 for any closed path, right. Line integration of electric field intensity over the closed path is all the time 0. Hence, this term cancels, then how much we are getting? It is F s dot dl, and you can write now that is nothing but equal to that force dot dl, because now F is same thing as F s or not. F is same thing as F s, because of the field the integration for the closed path is vanished. So, therefore, the source force F s is same thing as the net force F, right. So, then now you tell this electromotive force is actually a force or something else. From this relation you can tell, we are telling it as electromotive force. You know the definition of force, but is it really a force? Not really a force, but the name was named at that time, it is continuing, otherwise it is the work done, right. It is the amount of work done that is relevant to the potential or potential difference. There should be potential difference, because of that current is existing, right. So, it is not a force, but called as per the old name, that is why it is continuing like that, it is the electromotive force, otherwise it is the electromotive potential difference that creates in the circuit which carries the charges or charge carriers in that closed path. That is not a force, right, because you know force is a vector quantity, but this is a scalar quantity, right, because dot product is also a scalar quantity. Then how it is a scalar quantity if it is force? It is not a force, rather it is work done or the potential difference between any 2 points, otherwise there is no current in it. EMF is the source of current, means what? There should be some potential difference, otherwise there is no current. So, it is not a force, rather it is the amount of work done or the potential difference between the points, because of that only current is existing in the circuit, right. So, then now you know about the, if you tell in terms of potential difference V, let us say, then how can you write this force, this dot product as the work done? Force dot displacement is the work done, right, you know it. Force dot displacement is the amount of work done. If displacement is dl, dw, integrate it, then get the w, that is your electromotive force, right. Then now how can you get a relation between this F dl, which you are telling the work done, in terms of potential difference? Same meaning is same, because potential difference only gives this quantity, electromotive force. Then how can you express that in terms of the potential? How, what will you write? You know V is equal to what? Potential difference. How can you express the V in terms of V? Minus of integration E dot dl or not? Minus integration E dot dl. Then now you write the same thing as what? Then what is your F s dl? This what will be your FSDL? How can you write that? Of course, it is from A to B. If there is a path, potential difference, there should be 2 points, right? Then potential difference you can write in terms of electric field intensity by this integration. So, then you can tell it is V B A, right. So, this potential difference, now how can you tell what is your then this EMF? You compare this relation, it is similar or dissimilar? If you are telling what is the source, from where you are getting the source? Source means there should be a potential difference, right, that take the charge carriers within that potential difference. Then this Fs is relevant with the electric field obviously, because without field how can you get the force, electric force, right, and that force is giving you the potential difference. Then potential difference is expressed in terms of the intensity dot product of the path, elementary path. Then now you can write this thing is nothing but equal to how much? This is nothing but equal to minus of Fs dot dl or minus of Fs sorry F not S dot dl. This negative sign is coming into picture, right. Why negative? You know this relation E and V, right. So, that negative sign is coming into picture here, either it is minus, this is also minus. So, the electromotive force what you are telling E can be written as minus of integration F dot dl. Of course, that is closed path for the loop, right. So, now if there is EMF, then what will it do? Current will be constituted in the loop, and this is called as the EMF, electromotive force, that will constitute the current in the closed circuit or loop, right. So, then now you think, let us say here is a magnet with north and south pole, and here is a loop and there is an ammeter, right. Loop is kept perpendicular in that way and here is a magnet, both are at rest. So, if I will take the magnet towards or away, then what you are doing? Changing the flux link with the loop, right. At what rate you are telling you are taking it, that depends on your mobility, but whenever both are at rest, flux link with this is constant. But once you change its position, there will be rate of change of flux linked with this loop, and that constitute this EMF, right. Whenever there is a change of flux linked with any circuit, then there will be an induced EMF, that is why it is called as induced. The EMF is induced by relative motion of, same thing will happen if you are taking this towards this or away from this, flux will change for unit time, or keep this magnet constant, most take it away or take it towards the magnet. Keep magnet constant, move the loop, same thing, flux link with the loop is again changing with time. So, there will be also induced EMF, right. That means, whenever there is a relative motion between the loop and the source, then there will be an induced EMF generated, right. Either magnet at rest, loop is in motion, or loop is at rest, magnet is in motion, or both are in relative motion, either the case may be, then the flux link with the loop is changing with time. So, there is rate of change of flux linked with the closed loop, and that constitute an EMF, which is called as induced EMF, right. That is called as the induced EMF. There is no source, but because of the relative motion between the magnet and the loop, a source is created, and that is why it is called as induced, and that EMF created there is called as the induced EMF, right. So, that is same thing will happen also if there is relative motion between these two, also there will be same thing, there is a rate of change of flux link with the loop, and that constitutes the EMF, and hence there is current, and that current is again called as the induced current. You cannot tell that it is current, it is induced current. Because of induced EMF, there will be induced current. If there is no relative motion, induced current 0, but so long as there is relative motion, till that time you will get some induced EMF and hence induced current. So, induced EMF and current are not permanent, they are temporary. So, if you can change the flux link with any loop, then only there will be an induced EMF and hence there is induced current. They are temporary, right. Once the relative motion stops, induced EMF stops, current also stops, right. So, then now then it tells that you know the relation also. How will you calculate the flux phi in terms of magnetic field? You know the flux link with a loop. If the loop is having area A and B the magnetic field induction with that loop, then how will you get that? Phi equal to what? What is the value of phi? Integration B dot dA, right. This is the amount of flux linked with this when the field is B and area of loop is dA. A small elementary area, if you take dA, the integrand means whole area. How much flux is linking with that area is giving you the flux, right. Then this flux, if both are at rest, then this is constant, right. Flux is linking, but that is constant, not changing with time. But when you will get induced EMF? If there is change of flux linked with the loop with time, then there will be rate of change of flux, right. Then only there will be induced EMF. So, the induced EMF can be written as minus d phi by dt, which is the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, right. This is the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction that tells whenever there is a change of magnetic flux linked with any closed loop or circuit, an induced EMF will be generated, and that is given by this relation. Induced EMF is equal to this thing, which is called as the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction mathematically, right. So, if you will feel that there are n number of turns, then multiply it by n, same thing, right. Single turn is associated with that EMF. If there are n number of turns on the same place, if you take it away, then it is different question, it is not a solenoid. At the same place there are n number of turns, then the EMF generated in that kind of closed circuit will be n times, number of turn times. So, the EMF if you want to enhance, then you just increase the number of turns, right, but not away, at the same place, in the same plane. If plane is changing, the EMF value will disturb, but so long as the plane is constant, but there are number of turns, then multiply it just by n. How many number of turns are there in that plane, in the loop? Then it will just multiplied by n, right. So, now the question comes here, why then there is a negative sign? It is a amount of work done that you can calculate from the rate of change of flux, but still there is a negative sign. What is the meaning of that negative sign and why it comes out? That is your Lenz law, right. So, what this Lenz law tells? What the Lenz law tells? Lenz law tells the direction of the induced EMF generated is all the time opposes the cause behind it, right. The direction of the induced EMF generated is always opposes the cause due to which it is generated, right. That is why there is a opposition standing for this negative sign. The direction of the induced EMF is such that it always opposes the cause because of which it is generated. Now, you see, let us say I will tell that there is a loop and you can mark it from the emitter. If you take closure with a higher speed, emitter will show more current, means more EMF. So, it depends on the rate. What is the rate of change of flux linked with the loop? If it is speed, rate is more, EMF is more, current is more. Similarly, if you take it away, same thing. At what speed you are taking it nearer to or away from, that will tell you how much flux will link with that closed loop. That is why it is d phi by dt, rate of change of flux. It depends on the velocity, with what velocity you are moving the magnet or the loop or both, right. So, this Lenz law tells, suppose for example, there is a closed loop and here is a magnet, north and south pole here, right. So, if I will take this toward this, the EMF is created in such a way that is given by the Lenz law, that the EMF is created because of motion of the north pole toward the loop. So, if here is a south pole, then obviously it will if it is a north pole, north will repel, right. Oppose means what? If there is a south pole, it will attract, there is no opposition, there is support, but in order to oppose it there should be a north pole. Then if it is north pole, then obviously you can tell the current will be in this direction, induced EMF is in that direction, current is in that direction, that is why there is a negative sign, right. So, combining Faraday's law and Lenz's law, it is minus of rate of change of flux. That minus symbol is coming because the direction of the induced EMF generated is all the time opposes the cause due to which it is produced, right. The same thing, if you want to take this north pole away, then here you will get the south pole, that means the current will go in the opposite direction. If you are taking away the north pole, if there is a south pole, then again what will happen? Opposite, it will try to attract, but you are taking it away, right. So, the EMF is generated in the loop in such a way that it always opposes the cause due to which it is produced. The EMF is produced because of motion of the magnet, but which pole is moving, north pole or south pole? Accordingly, we appear the pole here, right. Here you will get current means it is a magnet, and when magnet it has north and south pole. So, now accordingly you have to decide in what direction the EMF is created. So, Lenz's law gives the direction of the induced EMF and hence the current, conventional current, and that depends on what kind of motion is there with the magnet or magnetic field. Magnet means magnetic field, right. So, this is called as your Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, that tells the induced EMF generated is all the time equal to rate of change of flux linked with the closed circuit, right. So, then now we change the page. So, that means it basically tells that when there is a change of magnetic field, you will get an electric field, right. Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction tells that whenever there is a change of magnetic field, it creates an electric field. So, then now you know that this EMF is nothing but equal to E dl, which is nothing but also equal to minus d phi by dt. Hence, you can write now this integration E dl is equal to how much? Minus dB by dt dot dA. If electric and magnetic field are correlated with each other, then ultimately you are getting at this relation that this is equal to this, right. And this is called as the integral form of the same Faraday's law. That was the differential form, it is the integral form, but that is the same Faraday's law. So, now ultimately you can draw a conclusion from this relation that what is then del cross E, curl of electric field, how much you are getting out of this relation. Now, you are convinced that the electric field is there, magnetic field is there, both are there, and because of magnetic field you are getting electric field, right. Because of magnetic field you are getting electric field, and both the fields are interrelated with each other. So, there should be a relation between this also. Then what that curl of that electric field created there, or that is your EMF, what we are telling, electric field causes the current. So, in terms of magnetic field you can write this is nothing but equal to del B by del T, right. So, curl of E is equal to minus of rate of change of magnetic field induction. Magnetic field is different from magnetic induction. I am telling magnetic induction is B, field is H, B equal to mu H. Induction means there must be a medium. If medium is there, then only you can write this B, otherwise it is H, field strength, right. Right. So, this is your Faraday's law both in differential and integral form, which from where you can draw the conclusion about the curl of the electric field created there, which is related to magnetic field induction B by that relation, right. So, now the question is, suppose let us say there is a loop and here is another loop, two loops are there nearby, and so let us say it is loop 1 and this is loop 2, two loops are nearby each other, right. So, then now if let us say there is current, this is dl in that loop, right, which is placed by another loop, then what will happen with this loop? Suppose this there is a some, if current is there, there is electric field, magnetic field also, right. So, magnetic flux will link with the loop 2 also. If flux is created, it will link with the loop 2 also. Then how this current is varying, EMF is varying in this loop 1, that affects the EMF generated in loop 2, right. So, that is called as mutual induction. Mutual induction, because of one, other is influenced, mutual, right. But if it is within the same thing, it is self. There are two kinds of induction, one is mutual, other is M is, if there are two, it is 1 2. Mutual is all the time between two closed circuits, but when it is only one, that is self induction implied by L. L means there is a single loop, M means there are two loops. So, this M is the mutual induction because of one or the other, there should be two. So, in between two there should be some mutual induction, that is represented by mu 1 2. If there are loop 1 and 2, it is mu 1 2. But for self induction there is no second loop, within the same loop you are getting the induction, that is your L, symbolized as L. So, this is the coefficient of self induction and this is the coefficient of mutual induction. So, you understand from there what kind of induction is there. If it is mutual, there should be two, if it is self, it is same thing within itself, that is why it is self, right. So, then now you know, as per the Biot-Savart's law, what is your magnetic field created due to a current carrying loop? Biot-Savart's law. How can you write that? It is mu 0 by 4 pi, then I integration dl cross r divided by r square, right. Biot-Savart's law due to a current carrying loop giving the magnetic induction B, right. Then now what is your phi 2 here? Phi 2 means the flux link here, it is phi 1 self. The flux link in second loop is phi 2. Then you see, when there is current, there is some flux link, right, and that flux link is, let us say, phi 2 with the second loop. Then phi 2 will be how much? Phi 2 will be, it is B 1 dot D A 2. Understand what is the meaning of B 1 and A 2, right. B 1 is created in loop 1, area is for second loop. So, then only you can tell it the flux link with the second loop, right. So, ultimately then now what is phi 2? What will be then phi 2? You know, phi 2 is nothing but equal to what? This phi 2 is depending on what? Current I 1 or not? Phi 2 is proportional to I 1. If I is more, magnetic field created there is more, hence flux link will be more. Hence, this phi 2 is proportional to I 1, right. If strength of current in first loop is more, then the flux link with the second will be more. So, then there will be a constant. If it is proportional, then that constant is your mu 1 2, coefficient of mutual induction M 1 2, right. So, if the flux created in the loop 2 because of current in loop 1, then that is mutual, right, because they are mutual. Similarly, same thing, if there is current here, there will be mutual on the other, that is why it is called as mutual. When one is there, other must be there. So, that is why it is phi 2 which is given by this relation, and that tells that the coefficient of mutual induction is nothing but equal to what? Mu 1 2 is nothing but equal to phi 2 by I 1, not 2. You can define in that way. It is the amount of flux link in second loop when there is unit current in first loop, that is the coefficient of mutual induction, and measured in Henry. Unit is Henry induction, right. So, then again you can verify that mu 1 2 is same thing as mu 2 1, same thing, because of 1 with 2 or because of 2 with 1, both are equal. So, coefficient of mutual induction is same for both the coils, right. If you take two coils, mutual induction may be 1 with respect to the other, you can change any one, does not matter. Mu 1 2 is same thing as mu 2 1, right. Now, is tell, if you are taking a single loop, what will happen? There is no two loops. If two are there, this is mutual, but if there is a single loop, only there is a loop. If you allow current through it, what will happen? It is a closed loop and there is current. So, magnetic field is there, obviously it is there, right. So, magnetic field is there means flux is linking, and when flux is linking, induced EMF is generated, then what that EMF will do? Because current is there means there is some source, otherwise there is no current, right. That current may be because of induced or not, but there is some source that constitutes the current in this loop. But when there is current in a loop, obviously there is a magnetic field, right? And when there is a magnetic field, and if the current is changing, magnetic field is changing, so flux is changing, and there will be rate of change of flux, and there will be induced EMF, and that induced EMF is because of within the same, that is why it is self, right. Current is there, and in the same thing you are getting an induced EMF. So, this induced EMF is the flux linked with the same thing, you can tell. Let us say it is phi, then phi is proportional to what? I or not? Some flux will link with the same loop, and the flux linked with the same loop is depending on what? Current strength. If current strength is more, field will be strengthened, and flux linked with the loop will be more, right. So, flux links with this current. How much is the current in the loop? So, if you replace this, then it will tell you what is this L. That L is the coefficient of self induction, and it has same unit, that Henry. Maybe mutual or self, does not matter, but when you are telling it is induction, coefficient of induction, it has same unit, that is Weber per ampere. Flux is Weber, ampere, Henry, right. Weber per ampere is Henry. So, it is the unit of both mutual and self induction, right. So, then now now you tell when these things are happening, definitely some work is done or not. Energy stored, field is there means energy is there. So, flux is there means energy is there, right. When you are telling there is a field, it is a source of energy. All the fields are source of energies, may it be electric, magnetic, gravitational, whatever it may be, but they are all sources of energy, right. So, if the energy is stored in the field or loop, you can tell, then some work might have been done. Otherwise, how the energy is stored in the field, in the form of field, then you have to tell how much amount of energy is stored during that process. How will get that energy stored? The energy stored can be calculated, or you can tell the variation of work done dW by dt is nothing but equal to that EMF times I, current strength, induced EMF times the strength of current, that is relevant with potential difference multiplied by the charge, that will give you the rate. This is power, not work, power. dW by dt is the power generated, W is the work done. So, if that amount of work done is in time till t, then rate of work done is power, P is given by the relation minus EMF, minus that EMF multiplied by current in that loop, right. Then if you calculate, then what this W is, if there is an inductor, let us say it is an inductor symbol is like this, right. Let us say it is L, inductor. Resistance and inductor are symbolized differently. This is resistance R, but this is a coil, that is inductor, symbolized as L, because it is 1 L, if 2 M, right. So, then now if there is L, here also energy is stored, if current is allowed, field is there, flux is linking, energy is stored, then if you measure the work done, that is given by what? Half L times I square, coefficient of self inductance times I square, strength of current square, the amount of work done, or you can tell the energy stored in that coil, right. So, then now if you write this is also equal to how much? You can write the same thing as twice mu 0 times B square d tau in terms of magnetic field. It is for all space, whatever volume is available. If you write that in terms of, if you put the value of L and taking the volume into account, because current is relevant with the loop, area is involved, area into thickness will give the volume, that is why it is all space. In that space magnetic field is varying. So, if you calculate the work done, it will go to B square d tau, that is for all space. The amount of work done is given by this relation in terms of B also, this L is expressed in terms of B, right. So, then of course, you may why this you are writing B square here, because you know what is minus this, what is this minus Li, SII, how much it is? It is nothing but equal to Li di by dt, right, minus psi I induced EMF times I equal to Li di by dt, and this leads to give you this equation. So, now tell what the role of an inductance in electric circuit is. If there is an electric circuit, let us say like this, and here is an inductor, then like this, what will happen here? If you are taking single circuit, it is self, if both are there, then it is mutual, right. So, obviously you can tell this is the primary, this is the secondary. Primary is with source, secondary is without source, right. So, like that, if there are two circuits placed close to each other, then you can tell there is mutual induction, like your transformer is doing the same job, right. May it be step down or step up, but two inductors are placed nearby, and that depends how much voltage and current will change depending on number of turns, how many number of turns are associated with each other, whether it is step up or step down. So, then now the question is, when you are, suppose for example, this circuit is not there, only primary circuit is there, and you are allowing it with an AC source, right. If you take DC, what will happen, and if you take AC, what will happen with an inductor? Let there is only one inductor with AC source and DC source. Once you take AC, then take DC. If there is DC, what will happen first? Let there is a battery. Battery is DC source, right. So, if you take a battery connected to that inductor in the circuit, then what will happen to current in it? Current will be steady or fluctuate? Current will fluctuate. Why? If it is DC, I am telling DC, yes, DC, here is an inductor, then what will happen? The current, steady current, remember it, because EMF is fixed by the source, that is DC, right. But in case of AC, alternate, it is all the time changing, both magnitude and direction, that is why it is alternate, right. So, in case of DC, steady current, no change of flux link with that inductor, flux there is no change because current is steady. But when there is AC, all the time flux link with the coil is changing. So, there is a rate of change of flux link with that coil, and that again it will oppose the current, you know it. Induced EMF is always opposing the source current, that is why it is sometimes called as back EMF. That is why it is called as back EMF. Back EMF means the EMF created within the inductor because of variation of current in it. So, that EMF is called as the back EMF. The EMF created by induction is back EMF, it all the time opposes the source current, right. So, therefore, now you can know that inductor in case of AC circuit is just like as a capacitor. You connect with AC capacitor, what will do? If there is a capacitor connected with AC, then what it will do? It will resist or it will allow? If you allow DC, battery. If you will allow DC, then what will happen? The charges are stored, just no current, right. The resistance goes to infinite, no current in the circuit, right. Source is there, but still there is no current, because you know the reactive capacitive reactance is how much? 1 by omega c. Reactance is equivalent to resistance. If it is AC, it is reactance, if DC, that is resistance, right. When you are connecting with an AC source, everything is reactance, not resistance, but meaning is same, opposition. So, now you calculate what is the opposition? It is twice pi f times c. So, when it is DC, what is the frequency? 0 or not? For DC source, frequency is how much? No frequency, it is steady, 0. So, if it is 0, then what is your reactance? Infinite, means it is opposing infinitely, that means it does not allow the current to go, right. So, capacitor in a DC circuit is equivalent to a insulator, it will not allow the current to go through it. But if it is AC, then there is some frequency, like for example, our source is frequency is 50 hertz, 250 volt or 230 volt, 50 hertz, that hertz is the frequency of AC source. So, if there is some frequency, then there is some opposition definitely, but not infinity, right. So, then now what it indicates? Through a capacitor current is there or not, if connected with AC source? Yes, there is opposition, but still allows the current, right. There is opposition no doubt, but still allows the current. But in case of DC, it will not allow the current. It is just like an insulator, right. So, AC is permitted through a capacitor, but never DC, right. AC is permitted through a capacitor with reactance this, which is equal to 1 by 2 pi f c, and similarly for inductor, the inductive reactance L is nothing but equal to omega L, or it is twice pi f L. Angular frequency is 2 pi times frequency of the cycle for AC, that is your inductive reactance opposition by the inductor. So, now tell, when there is DC, what about this frequency? 0. Then what is the value of opposition? Nothing, it can freely pass, right. So, DC current can be freely allowed through an inductor, but not AC, right. If you take AC, there is some frequency, that is twice pi f times L. If there is some frequency, then there is some reactance opposition, right. If there is frequency, there will be opposition. So, it cannot be freely allowed through a inductor. That is why there is back EMF. That opposition is because of the Lenz law, which will oppose the main source EMF. That is why it is called as back EMF, right. So, AC current is allowed through the inductor, through the capacitor also, right, through the capacitor also with reactance Xc and XL. But if you allow DC, it is not allowed at all through a capacitor, right, but here also it is freely allowed. So, for DC, inductor is just like a conductor, but capacitor is just like a insulator, equivalent to an insulator, does not allow the current to go exist. But for AC, both are allowing, but with opposition. The opposition is this capacitive reactance, inductive reactance. How much opposition, that you can calculate from here, right. So, both AC and DC are being supported in case of capacitor and inductor, that you have to see which is supporting and which is opposing. If it is DC, it is totally not allowed, because the charge is only appearing in the plates, but there is no flow of charge and there is no flow, no current in the circuit. But if it is AC, what will happen? Why it is there current? You see, when you are telling plus, it is minus, in the next half cycle it is minus, it is plus. What does it mean? Although the charge is not flowing, but it appears that the charge is changing its position, right. For AC, what happened? For half cycle, if it is plus, next half cycle it will be minus. So, field is changing, and because of that it constitutes the current, and current is allowed through the capacitor if it is AC. But in case of DC, it is fixed. If it is plus, all the time plus, and the charge is stored in the plates. You can tell energy is stored, but without doing any work, no current, right. Similarly, here if it is an inductor, AC is allowed, but with some opposition, and DC is freely allowed, no opposition at all. Because of the inductor, there is no opposition in the circuit when there is an inductance coil or inductor. So, like that you can estimate, if there is an AC circuit, let us say this is an AC circuit connected with all three elements, those who are opposing, resistance, inductance, capacitance together, right. These are the three elements in the electrical circuits: resistance, inductance and capacitance, and all are having their own reactance for AC. And you know that XL equal to omega L, XC equal to 1 by omega C, and this XR is nothing but the simple resistance. It is same for both AC and DC. Resistance is all same, may it be AC or DC, all the time it is there, right. So, depending on that, you can estimate how much current is existing in the circuit, whether that what nature of the current will be there in the circuit. These are called as LCR circuits, right, all three together. Similarly, all two together, LC, LR, CR, you can combine in any way to see, to study what will happen the current in the circuit, right. So, now after this we can write now the equations, few equations, just you know already. Suppose I will write this I is equal to del dot E, you know it. What is this? Already you know it. Divergence of the electric field is rho by epsilon 0, Gauss law, right, Gauss law in electrostatics. Then second, if I will write del dot B, then how much? 0, that also you know, right. Divergence of magnetic field is all the time 0, but there is no name. This is Gauss law, here there is no name for such equation, but it is 0. When then third is del cross E is nothing but equal to minus del B, that you just learn, minus del B by del T, which is nothing but your Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Then del cross B is equal to mu 0 J, that also you know. curl of B in terms of current density J, mu 0 times J, right. So, these are the set of equations involved in electrostatic and magnetostatic, Faraday's law, Gauss law, and of course, this is called as the Ampere's law. This is the Ampere's law. So, Gauss law, Faraday's law, Ampere's law, and one more without any name, but that relation is true, del dot V equal to 0, right. So, these are the equations set for both electric and magnetic field. These are, this is electric, this is electric, this is magnetic, this is magnetic, 2 electric, 2 magnetic. Both divergence and curl of the fields are expressed by these relations given by the different laws, right. And this set of equations are nothing but your electromagnetic equations, first established after knowing all those relations that you have read till now, right. So, all are valid, but except the last one, that means you can tell these are all. Now, tell whether it is electrostatics or electrodynamics. These equations are governing electrostatics or electrodynamics, dynamics, because there is variation of field with respect to time, right. Time is involved here. So, it is not electrostatics, rather it is electrodynamics, right, and that is before Maxwell. It was given before Maxwell, but these are all true and these are for electrodynamics, right. So, then what happens now, if I will tell what is this del dot E, that is the Gauss law, right. Divergence of the electric field is nothing but equal to how much? If I will do again divergence of this, then how much you will get? Take divergence of the left hand side, then how much you will get? Sorry, this cross, last equation, this equation, third. You know about this equation, del cross E, that is the Faraday's law, right. You take again divergence of that, divergence of curl of E will be how much? Tell. It is ultimately that will tell you del by del T del dot B. You check the relation, I am correct or wrong. Finally, you get this thing in terms of B, right. This is E, this is B, establish the relation, same third equation, this one. So, ultimately you see, when you are telling what is the left hand side, divergence of curl is all the time 0, this is also 0, you know. So, it is valid or not, divergence of curl is all the time vanishing 0, and this is also 0, del dot B is 0, right. So, it is applicable for both and it is true. So, that equation do not have any problem when you take the del cross E, but think about now del cross B. Can you do the same thing here, whether it is valid for both the sides or not? Check it. Like here you are taking divergence to both the sides, then only you are telling that both the sides are same and equal to 0. But can you do it with the same fourth equation? Check it. For this fourth equation, del cross B, you know this del dot J is how much? Del dot, if you take in terms of current density, del dot J, how much? It is, remember, minus del rho by del T, rate of change of charge, current density J if you write, right. Then ultimately this equation will lead to give you equal to minus del by del T. If you write this rho, then it will be epsilon 0 del dot E, right, and that again goes to give you del dot epsilon 0 then del E by del T, right. So, then now if attach this B is now single term or two term, the right hand side you are having only one term, but now tell whether it is same correct equation can justify all vector calculus or not. Vector calculus is not satisfied if you take only one term, right. Vector calculus will not satisfy like this equation, it is satisfied, but for this equation it is not satisfied. So, it has to be modified, and that modification to the Ampere's law is done by Maxwell, right, that is done by Maxwell, and that is why this set comes out is called the Maxwell's equations. After his correction to the Ampere's law, it was named as Maxwell's equations. And what correction he has done? He did that this is nothing but equal to mu 0 j, that term will be obviously there, then an additional term is coming, that is mu 0 epsilon 0 del E by del T, because the magnetic field is also inducing some electric field, right. That term here they have neglected, but now Maxwell has corrected to satisfy both the sides same, otherwise it is not satisfied. So, that is the Ampere's law is now corrected by Maxwell, adding this term, and this term whatever is remaining here is called as your displacement current D, that appears in the capacitor case. If you take a capacitor, you will understand this thing, displacement current. This is nothing but equal to epsilon 0 del E by del T, that is your D, not displacement vector, that is D is displacement vector I told you, right. Actually this is displacement current J D, displacement current J D, that was D is the displacement vector, but this is current, right. That is why it is J D, D for displacement, J for current. So, now you can tell the equations are all three correct except this is modified to this, together are the Maxwell's equations, right. But they are of course in differential form. If you want, you can write in integral form, right, because like Gauss law you can write in integral form also. Similarly, all the equations if you want you can write, but this is the Maxwell's equations. So, it governs all the electromagnetic phenomena, right. So, when the electromagnetic wave is propagating, you have to deal with Maxwell's equations, how it will travel in a medium, electromagnetic radiations, everything follows this Maxwell rule. That is why it is very, very important for propagation of the electromagnetic radiations, right. So, this is all about your course, whatever is there, that is finished. Now,